Hello and welcome back to another festive recipe episode. Whether you make it at a festival or a weekend, that is totally up to you. I am making a delicious egg biryani. Yes, you heard that right. Not veg, not chicken, but I am going to make a stunning egg biryani. Eggs are just such a big part of our consumption. Always you'll find that bowl always has eggs. In all my videos you'll notice, because we eat so many eggs every day. So I thought, why not think about eggs as not breakfast but actually a main celebratory meal. You can take the whole bowl of biryani to the table and then everyone can have how much they want. So let's get cooking. Before that, you know the drill. Subscribe, hit the bell button, let's go. Like every other biryani, one of the elements that actually makes biryani kind of are the onions, are fried onions. So before I do anything else, I can prep the onions and I can get them cooking on the hob, and while they are cooking I can do everything else. So because you have to kind of cook it on slow heat, let it get nice and golden. You don't want it burnt and you don't want half cooked and half too golden. I am going to start with the onion prep. So I'm going to start with 9 onions because my onions are slightly smaller today. 8 onions. You can use a few less, but let me tell you that if say you have a little bit of fried onions left, some of it, you can use it for something else. But if it's less, then you can't kind of go and make more. And also I love fried onions, so more the better. So I am going to show you. I'm going to just thinly slice it like this. So a hot pan, and I'm going to use a little bit of extra oil because I'm going to remove the extra oil once the onions are fried. But the onions can't really be shallow fried with less oil, unfortunately. There's no quantity, just put enough so that the onions can be shallow fried. And then once they're fried, I'm going to drain the extra oil. So remember, these onions are going to be fried low and slow. So a good 15 minutes you need for this. And while this is cooking on medium lowish heat, I'm gonna tell you what we can prep until then. I'm gonna get my attention to the rice. So I am using basmati rice, and I have got here 350 grams of basmati rice. I'm gonna give it a good wash, which is, just rinsing it a few times in cold water. So do that 3 to 4 times, and then we will start cooking it. For the rice, I've got a pan full of boiling water. In this, I'm going to add 6 to 8 cloves, 6 to 8 cardamom pods, again 6 to 8 black peppercorns. I'm just using some of my broken up bay leaves. So just some broken up bay leaves go in it. Add your rice, and we're not going to cook it fully. We are only going to cook it 70%, and then the rest will be cooked in the biryani setup. This smells amazing, and that is 70% done. You can basically see that it's not fully cooked, but it's almost there. So I'm going to turn this off and quickly drain this fast. It's time to drain the onions, which are ready. Then I'm going to let it sit like this to get rid of all the extra oil while I start prepping for the masala in the same pan. For the masala, I'm going to take 2 onions and not thinly slice, but roughly chop these first and start cooking. Now back in the same pan, I haven't washed it because there's so much flavor of onions in here. Just gonna add a couple of tablespoons of oil. Now I'm gonna add 2 black cardamom and 4 to 5 green cardamom pods, a teaspoon of cumin seeds, And now the onions. I'm going to cook this on low heat because while the onions are cooking, I'm going to also prep the eggs. So I'm going to cook this on low heat for a good 8 to 10 minutes. In that time, my eggs will be done. So like I said, while the onions are cooking, I'm going to move on to the eggs. Now, eggs are the star of this biryani. Obviously, it's egg biryani. So they are like the main highlight of the dish. And I'm using, I get asked a lot, but if you are based in the UK, then Clarence Court is what I use a lot most of the time. And their Burford browns are stunning. They got that kind of really bright orangey yolks, which are so good, which is what I use for my fried egg. But for the biryani, I'm going to use their leghorn whites. So they are white eggs and they've got this delicious flavor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first boil the eggs in some boiling water. Always cook the eggs in boiling water. I've done a detailed egg, what's the best time and what sort of egg you get and how much time you cook that in on YouTube. So you can check it out if you are a boiled egg fan. So let's cook this. So I am going to use 8 eggs. Actually, I'm going to make it 10 because we always get through. So that's kind of for 5-6 people. So I'm going to boil these for 5 minutes on like high heat. Okay, so it's been exactly 5 minutes. I am going to drain these and then put them in cold water straight away so that I can peel them off straight away. Okay, so in cold water, the eggs are here and I am just going to peel them up. At the same time, I am going to very quickly chop up 3 to 4 garlic cloves. They are fat little things, so equivalent to like 6, 7, and a little piece of ginger. And I'm just going to crush them up in a pestle and mortar. So look how beautiful the onions are looking, really nicely, deeply golden. I am going to add the ginger garlic to this and then cook it for a minute. Before I add the tomato puree. So many amazing flavors, just it's packed with aroma and taste. Next, I'm going to add 70 grams of tomato puree. You can use 4 fresh tomatoes chopped up if you like, or the puree. This definitely adds a more kind of stronger flavor. Now I'm going to reduce the heat and give it 2 minutes. Like I've literally reduced it to lowest I can go because I need this to cook on low heat for 2 while I get the other bits ready. So here I've got 200 grams of yogurt. You could use natural, you could use Greek, and I'm going to add some spices to this. So first up, teaspoon of chili powder, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon turmeric, tablespoon of ground coriander, teaspoon of garam masala. Then I'm going to add a little splash of water. Okay, so I've peeled the eggs and I have used the oil from the onion pan, added it to a frying pan. That's all the oil that's left. So I'm going to very quickly like kind of flash fry the eggs to just get some color in it. So I'm just going to make some slashes on the eggs. I'm not chopping the onions in half. You can, but I like to keep them whole. And I am going to add a splash of chili and turmeric before I add the eggs. Okay, that's all it needs, just a little bit of color. Now in these onion tomato mix, I am going to add my yogurt mix. Remember to lower the heat to minimum, as low as you can, because you want to cook the yogurt in low heat first. I'm going to add like a 50 ml water and get this out. I'm going to lower the heat and cook this for 5 minutes, and in that time I am going to get the pan to make the biryani and also chop up some herbs. Low heat, 5 minutes. One more thing to prep is just 3 to 4 tablespoons of milk, hot. And I'm going to add some saffron, a couple of pinches, and then I'm going to leave it for 5 minutes. Prepping the herbs, I've got a handful of fresh mint and a handful of fresh coriander, and I'm literally just chopping it roughly. And I've also got one nice lovely piece of chili, just chopping it in chunks. There we go, all ready. So it's been 5 minutes. Look at that, smells amazing. And now I add the eggs. And now I give it a good mix, gently, not to break the eggs. And it's time to assemble the biryani. So exciting. So in a pan, this is where I'm cooking the biryani. I have got some ghee and it's smoking hot. I've turned the heat off. First I'm going to layer everything and then turn it back on. Some chilies. And I'm going to add the egg masala to this. So that's all the egg masala done. I've kept 4 eggs separate, and then I'm going to add those on the top. Then the rice. Then the herbs. Then I've got the lovely saffron milk. Handful of rice. Then you can use a teaspoon half of kevda water or rose water, just a few drops to add to the fragrance. Now the 4 eggs that I kept, and the last but most important thing, the fried onions. Just look at that. Now the final thing is I've just got some plain flour and water. You could use atta, and just trying to make a seal for the lid. Now you don't have to do this, but it does kind of trap the flavor, and then that's how the biryani becomes dum. Not that this is a traditional biryani in any shape or form. And now I put the lid like this, and now I'm going to cook this on lowest heat for 25-30 minutes. So it's been cooking for 25 minutes, and after that I let it just sit on the hob, turned it off and let it sit for 15 minutes, and now it's time to break in. And here it is, guys, my egg biryani. And I know I'm supposed to be eating with this, but something like a biryani or a paratha, you know, flatbreads, parathas, you have to get it with your hands. The eggs are cooked perfectly. Look at that. I'm trying to show you in there. It's not overcooked and it's just melt in your mouth. You can have this with some pickle. I wouldn't be eating it with anything. It just is complete in itself. You can have it with pickle. You can make a salad. You can make a salan. So good. Hope you make this festive season. Enjoy it with your family or friends. And let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Amazing.